Yesterday's report on inflation in the United States fueled speculations that the Fed may pause its rate hikes and may even announce a rate cut soon. This news significantly weakened the US dollar. Meanwhile, the Fed will unveil its key rate decision tonight. However, this is not the only important event that will take place this trading week. European and Japanese central bank meetings are coming up, and we will talk about these meetings a bit later. You are watching the InstaForex TV channel. On Thursday, markets will digest crucial data on the Chinese economy. Economists are expecting the economy to recover at a fast pace, reviving global economic growth. However, China has nothing optimistic to offer now. Thus, fears of a looming global recession are intensifying. Markets will assess the Chinese industrial production and the key sector of the Chinese economy. The indicator is projected to slow down significantly. It signals that the world's consumption is falling sharply, and there is no reason to be optimistic. The Australian dollar is likely to come under pressure on such news. Notably, the Australian currency quotes indicate risk sentiment in the Asia-Pacific region. Besides, the country is China's main commodity supplier. Europe has already tumbled into a technical recession. However, this fact is unlikely to stop the European Central Bank from raising its key interest rate by 25 basis points to 4%, fighting against raging inflation. Meanwhile, consumer prices seem to be slowing down. According to preliminary forecasts, the inflation rate has already declined to 6.1% on a yearly basis in May. At the same time, such an aggressive policy has led to a recession and a decline in consumption. The United States is also suffering from a crippling consumption rates. Notably, consumer activity is the main driver of the US economy. It generates more than two-thirds of US GDP. On Thursday, investors will analyze the retail sales report, which is likely to show a negative trend, pointing to the possibility of a recession in the world's largest economy. Traders expect that weak data may force the Fed to cut interest rates earlier, weakening the US dollar. The Bank of Japan is fighting high inflation in its own way. On Friday, the regulator will hold a meeting and is expected to leave the key interest rate unchanged. Notably, the central bank is supporting the local economy with its negative interest rate policy. The Bank of Japan will maintain the ultra-loose policy until inflation returns to the 2% target. Meanwhile, the Japanese economy is proven to be quite resilient in this economic environment. At the same time, the yen is weakening. The trading week will end with news on US consumer sentiment. We have already mentioned that consumption is crucial for the US economy, and the University of Michigan will release the Consumer Sentiment Index for June. The preliminary reading is expected to show a slight increase to 60.2 points after the index fell to its lowest level in 6 months in May. And this means that sentiment remains subdued. How will going to be in the short term in financial markets? We will definitely tell you in our news releases. Subscribe to our channel and follow news with us. See you soon.